Now I'm asking you very politely, do not click off. There's a lot of people that's not watching my videos in full, and you're missing the meat of the story. Now we're going to quickly deal with the number 3, which is used as a number of judgment. And I'll give you a few examples, and then you can compare it. Such as Moses and Israel in Egypt, and there was 3 days of darkness. That was used for judgment. And then there's Jonah, 3 days in the belly of a whale, which was the sign the Messiah talked about, which goes over the April 8th eclipse. Because the eclipse goes over towns of Jonah, a whole bunch of Ninevehs, Joppa, that Jonah was going to, and Gord, that was Gord over him, Gord, Arkansas. That's telling the story of Jonah. Then there's the King of Kings, 3 days and 3 nights. I'll be raised on the 3rd day. That 3rd day is the whole point. 3 is the number of judgment, and we're about, well, not about, listen to me. We're going through it. We're actually living Bible prophecy. You don't need to watch the nightly news, just read your Bible. There's your 6 o'clock news. It's happening in current time. We're living in it. That being said, there's more 3s going on, because it's a number of judgment. It could be used for righteousness too, but in this case, judgment. We've got World War II. No, World War III again, in which 3 religions, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, will all 3 collapse because of World War III. They'll collapse in the overall sense. Because here is what I need you to focus on. All 3 of these religions right now are salivating over world events because each religion thinks their version of Bible prophecy is going to take place. All 3 of these religions are waiting for the Antichrist, right? No. They're waiting for their Messiah. Their version. Judaism's, Islam, their 12th Imam. Christianity, the return of the King. The Antichrist is not yet. But all 3 of them are going to fail because world events are not going to happen the way these religions see it. So World War III collapses these 3 religions as judgment. Starting, and you got to keep going, you got to listen. I haven't got to the meat of it yet. Starting with April 8th. Now here's what's going on. I'll try to elaborate on this. As World War III is killing estimated 2 billion, Revelation 6:8. All hell's going to break loose. And at some point, the Bible doesn't say at what point all these people are dying that this Antichrist shows up. It could be after the full effects of World War III are finished or during it. We simply don't know. We can only guess at this point on that. But that's not what's important. I'm not ready for that guy yet. I'll worry about that one later. But through this World War III, everyone is softened up and ready for the arrival of this guy and think he's the Messiah. The Christians, the King has returned. What is Judaism going to think? Oh, the Messiah. What is Islam? The 12th Imam is here. And they're ready to accept this guy, those who are not strong, those who are weak, and they're going to go into the pure worship of Lucifer, as some likes to call it, the one world religion. Whatever you like to call it, that's fine. That's okay. Because that's what it's going to be. The pure worship of Lucifer. Now go to Albert Pike's letter of 3 World Wars, even though I don't agree with NWO stuff. They have orchestrated the first 2 World Wars according to that letter correctly. Now what makes us think they won't get World War III right? Everything right now on the world stage, on the news, is showing you the stage is being set. Sure enough, for this World War, in which the Devil's Comet is going to be seen on April 8th, which is Iran's going to kick it all off, hence the entire chapter of Zechariah 5, he says the same thing. And Zechariah 5 is calling for nuclear weapons, by the way. Yeah, I'm not going to get into that. I heard a teacher teach on it, and yeah, this guy has divine revelation to find that one out. But it's true, and it's proven. Even in the Hebrew word, it's proven. But besides that, now here's what I want you to focus on. It's always three. Three, 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 three. What other three is people not seeing? I've been warning about April 8th since 2022. The very year that Russia went into Ukraine and started World War III. And you got to see the whole video, 468, that tells us the first day of World War III. You got to go to that video. Because exactly 68 days after the February 22nd incident in 2022 came Passover. There's another 68. I just didn't say it in that video because it wasn't time yet. So you got to go back and watch it. All of it. It's a little bit long, but you must see it. Then your eyes will be open and the scales will fall off. I'm not calling you dumb or anything. I'm just illustrating to the general public for all those that don't want to hear the truth. All right? So I'm sorry if I sound a little bit harsh. I'm speaking in general terms because so many people is fighting against me on this. So here we have 3 more days. That's the big tamale, which goes into tomorrow's teachings with what I'm going to be hated for. You'll throw me off the nearest cliff you can find. What he meant by on the 3rd day, rise again. You don't understand that? April 8th is not going to come into focus for you. So there's 3 Passovers now. World War III started in 2022. That was the first Passover. 2023, 2nd. And April 7th, the 3rd Passover, followed by the eclipse. On the 3rd day, I will rise again. 3rd day, I will rise again. The Passover of 22, partial solar eclipse. It started with that. Wasn't here in the U.S., by the way. Passover of 23, total eclipse over the Eastern nations. Australia up to China and Russia, that direction. Passover 3, this year, direct hit over America the Babylon. On the 3rd day, I will rise again. And these 3 Passovers, when seen correctly, is pointing directly at Antichrist. We'll worry about this guy later. We have a little bit before that guy is going to show up. And I don't want to get into it because too many teeth might be grinding already. You have to assimilate everything in every one of my videos. A lot of people aren't watching the full videos. You got to watch it, all of them and all of it, to get the whole picture and put it together like a jigsaw puzzle. Each video is a piece of this puzzle. Then when you get it all assimilated, then you put the puzzle together and you come up with the story that he wants us to see. Like that. I had to go through hell and high water to get here. Boy, you know how many times he showed my stupidity? You'll show a lot more, probably. None of us are perfect. We're a mixture of flesh and spirit. That's the way it is. But everything about this eclipse is pointing directly at all hell breaking loose. So I watched the Ramadan video and the Palestinian flag video. Those are important too, because we're focusing as well on the Islamic side of the fence. Zechariah 5 is showing us that it's Iran that kicks off the whole deal. Iran's the one that's some way, somehow, don't know how, it just says it's coming out of Iran, where the you-know-what starts to hit the fan. And what do we see? U.S. trying to provoke Iran and all that. Daniel 8 says the same thing. That the West, the GOAT, U.S., is fighting against the ram, Iran, April 8th, the devil's comet. Watch that video because it's seen by the naked eye only at the eclipse. Do you see it? And it says in Daniel 8, this ram has two horns. Two horns on the devil's comet. One came up after the other, one higher. There were two explosions. I went over that in yesterday's video. So you need to watch that. The devil's comet. And I explain it. It's happening right in front of our eyes. And as silly as some of this stuff may sound, you might think I'm crazy. I wouldn't blame you either. I think so too. But it's just fact. Symbology is the Father's way of talking to us. Now, if we don't like that, okay, we'll have to take it up with Him on Judgment Day, whatever. But that's just the way He does it. He uses numbers, colors of horses in Revelation, symbols, beasts, and that's His way of talking to us. Perhaps that's the way we're just going to get it, I guess. I guess plain words just doesn't work. But either way, that's His language. We're seeing the signs everywhere. He says signs in the heavens and in the earth. That devil's comet, that's way up there. The sun and the moon, everything. And on the earth, we're seeing signs in every which direction we look. And there's no shortage. So that's what I need you to focus on before I get into the one that I've been dreading. Because most are just going to scratch their head and say, no way, Jose, but I'm telling you, unless you have the Hebrew calendar, you won't understand it. Of what he means by the third day, and you must understand what he meant. But you got to have the calendar. And you won't understand April 8th without that knowledge. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Which is what is meant by I will be raised on the third day. So is this Passover of April 7th coming? Another third day? Or is he going to rise again through his elect overcomers? You see. It's him rising again per se, but through the overcomers. That's what we need to get into, is the restoration of all things. I want to get a couple lessons on that. Churches don't even know about it. They read the verse and gaff it off like, yeah, who cares? So what? Go to my video. Who cares? So what? That's the attitude of the churches, thumbing their nose up at the Father, as if the big stuff is of little or no value. And we wonder why everything's a mess. That's why. We're not taking him seriously, and we're not taking him for face value and for his word. And we're all in trouble. All of us are under the same gun. We're all going through this. Every last one of us. So that being said, I'll end this one here and try to keep it simple and short as I can. This one a little bit longer. All right. But I had to bring out this information. You put it all together. And every one of you, you know all these verses. I know you do. You'll be able to put it together real quick. You'll be lightning, speed, fast, yeah, got it, woo! And then you get excited. But then, the whole idea is to stir you to action. That is what he wants. He wants his people's attention. And he's going to get it. So the number 3 is in play again. All 3 religions that I just mentioned have everything to do with April 8th. And actually beginning with Ramadan on March 11th. So with that being said, I'll end this one.